This is the first video for Unit 5. Unit 5 deals with data. So we're going to do a very brief overlook of how we deal with data. Just some simple ideas, looking at graphs and charts and dealing with numbers a little bit. So to start off, I just want to give examples of what we're talking about when we say data. Data can come in lots of different forms. And what we're going to do in this unit, we're just going to look at a couple of different situations. One situation would be where you've collected a bunch of numbers. That typically is what most people think of when they think of the word data. They think of a big list of numbers. So we call this quantitative data. So for example, here's the list of the ages of children at a kid's library, say. So we have just a list and a bunch of numbers. Okay, so that's one situation that we might be in. Another situation is where our data is not numerical, but it is categorical. So maybe we have a group of people and we collect their eye colors. So brown, brown, blue, brown, green, etc. These are the eye colors of a group of people. So this is called categorical data. It just means it's not numbers, it's what the value can be for any particular subject or person is not necessarily a number, but just a word or a category. So the brown-eyed people versus the blue-eyed people, etc. Okay. And then one other situation that we will talk about a small amount is actually sort of a hybrid of the two, where you have two variable data. So you have a category, so in this case different countries, and we have the GDP, and we want to sort of think of the mapping between the two. So each country has a number, right? So that's kind of two variable data. Okay, so the first thing we want to talk about is going to concentrate on quantitative data. So for quantitative data, a list of numbers. What we want to talk about, sort of the first thing you do in a statistics class, would be to ask, okay, well, I have this big list of numbers. Can I sort of boil it down to a single number that is representative of the whole set? So a typical value, right? And there are two common ways to do it. One way is what most people think of, which is called the mean. Most people usually call it the average, though. Mean and average are synonyms in this context. Okay. And so your list of numbers, it's very easy to calculate the mean. Most people know how to do it. You simply add up all the numbers and you divide by how many you have. So we'll do an example of that in just a second, but let me talk about the second approach. The second approach is called the median. And the median is you put all the numbers in order and you just pick the one that's in the middle. Okay, so we'll try this out. Actually, first let's try it out on this list of data. Okay, so if we want to calculate the mean of this data, we would add these numbers up. So you plug these into your calculator, add them up, and you get 57. But we divide by how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We divide by 9. So 57 divided by 9 is 6.3. So the mean or average of these numbers is 6.3. And the idea is that's kind of the typical number, right? And you can see some are higher, some are lower. In fact, how many are lower? This one, this one, this one, and this one. 4 are below the mean, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are above the mean. Now, one thing I want to say is that the mean can come out to be almost anything in terms of how many are below and how many are above. We could have gotten 3 below and 6 above. We could have even gotten 1 below and 8 above in an extreme case. That is possible. Especially if that one number that was below was very much below, much smaller than all the rest, then that can actually happen quite easily. Okay. Now let's talk about the median. All right, so now for the median, I can't work with the numbers in this order. I have to put them in order. So let me reorder these. So 2 is the smallest, and I'll cross them off as I go. 3, 5, 5. Then we got a 6, a 7, 8, 9, and then a 12. And just to make sure I didn't miss any, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, I still have all 9 numbers. Now, with 9 numbers, we're in luck because 9 is an odd number. And when you have an odd number of numbers, there is one number that's right in the middle, and that is your median, right? So the fifth number would be it, because there'd be 4 over here, 4 over here. So 6, this number 6 is right in the middle. It's the fifth out of 9 numbers. So the median is 6. Okay. Now, notice that how many are below the median and how many are above the median. 4 are below the median, and 4 are above the median. And that'll always be true. It'll always be true that there are equal numbers below and above, because that's how the median works. It is the number right in the middle. Okay. So if there are an odd number of numbers for the median, there is a middle number, and so that is your median. What do you do, though, if there are an even number of numbers? What if there were 10 numbers or 50 numbers? There's not going to be one number that's right in the middle, sort of splitting the list into 2 parts. Well, but what you do then is there are going to be 2 numbers that are sort of right around the middle. They straddle the middle. And so what you do is you take those 2 numbers that are in the middle and you add them up and divide by 2. And what that will do is just give you sort of halfway in between those 2 numbers. Let's do an example like that. So here's a list of test scores. Okay. So first of all, let's get the mean. Let's do that as well. And so if you add these all up into your calculator, you get 757. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 of them, so you divide by 10, and we get 75.7. So that's the mean or average. Now, by the way, let's just check how many are below and how many are above 75.7. This one's below, this one's below, and this one's below. So 3 are below the mean, and therefore the other 7 are above the mean. So again, notice the mean does not come right in the middle. That's what the median is. The mean can be sort of skewed to the lower numbers or to the higher numbers. In this case, it's lower. A majority of numbers are actually bigger than the mean. Okay, but now let's do the median. So let's put these in order. 38, 51, 64. This is, of course, easy to do, but also easy to make a mistake. And I think that's correct. But there are 10 numbers, right? So I can't, if I pick this number, there'd be 4 over here and 5 over here. So 79 is not the number in the middle. If I picked 85, there's 5 over here and 4 over here. So 85 is not right in the middle. So it's actually these 2 guys together are the middle. The middle is sort of in between them. So we want the number that's halfway between 79 and 85. And sometimes you can just think about it and figure it out, or the official way is to add them up and divide by 2. And if you do that, you get 164 over 2, you get 82. And so the median of this data set is 82. The mean was 75.7, the median is 82. So the median is right here, 82. Notice that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are below the median, and 5 are above. That will always happen with the median, that there's equal numbers above and below. Actually, there is a possible exception. Sometimes if you have repeated numbers, and if your median is one of those repeated numbers, then this could get a little bit messed up, but that's just a sort of a special case. Typically, it's always going to be the same number or below as above. Not true for the mean. Okay, so I'll stop the video here and we'll continue in a follow-up video with more on data.